Hello. So tonight is the early morning of March the 2nd of 2025. And um, I am pretty much chilling in my room. And I am doing my feet um, again. And I'm so silly. I don't read packages a whole lot sometimes. Just depends if I'm used to doing it. So I had been getting the same foot mask, but I think I had got one like the same kind, but just like a different brand. And long story short, I didn't read the package that you're supposed to wash your feet after every other mask that I get. Um, it's pretty much done when you take your feet out, but not this one. Hold on a second. Let me get me some soap. Be encouraged no matter what's going on. He'll make it alright, but you gotta stay strong. Be encouraged. Be encouraged no matter what's going on. Alright, so what I did was woke up this morning. I did my feet like um let's see, like last week sometime, like a week ago. I did my feet whenever I went and got my bag, my blood bag. So I did my feet like a week ago. So long story short, when I did my feet, when I did my feet, I just rubbed the stuff in like any other mask and called it a day. Nah, I was supposed to have um washed my feet off, and I didn't. And so not only did that make a problem, but I didn't know that the mask that I got was it was a it was a peeling mask. So I woke up this morning, took a shower, got out the shower, and my feet looked like I had had no lotion on since I was, you know, and hadn't worn no lotion in years. And I was like, what in the world is wrong with my feet? And so I started to rub, and the skin was just coming off like a peel. So I was like, oh, that's good. You know what I'm saying? It's not dry. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, well, that's good. It's coming off. That's good. So I went on here. I was getting ready to leave. And by the time I got to doing that, I just couldn't put my sock back on. You know what I'm saying? So I had to get all the skin off my feet. So long story short, read your directions, because I didn't read to know that you're supposed to wash this stuff off, because it's a peeling mask and it doesn't peel right away. They say sometimes once you soak the chemicals in your feet, that's why you leave it on there for an hour. It could take up to 2 weeks to fully peel. So I peeled all the skin off my feet today, and I swear my feet looked like a brand new baby's feet at the bottom. Like this, it was a whole new. And I got nice feet anyway, but it was not. It was like no other. Um, It was an exfoliating mask, and it was like no other mask that I've ever used before. This was wonderful. So what you're supposed to do is soak your feet in this little booty, and it's full of exfoliation, and then you're supposed to wear it for an hour. Any other mask that I get, you just put it on and about 20 to 30 minutes, or as long as you like, and then take it off. This one is a little different and is structured. So you put it on for an hour and rub the stuff into your feet, and then take it off. And so I didn't know that it was a peeling mask. So today I woke up with that job of peeling, and all of the skin on my foot had peeled off. And so when I looked at it, I said, and didn't know what's wrong, panicked. So that's what it was. So I wish I would have recorded it. I mean, I was on live when I was doing it, but I didn't record that part because it looked gross, and I was actually panicking at the time. So it is supposed to peel, um, and then it takes, like they said, it could take up to 2 weeks to fully get it all off. I don't know if I would buy it again. I mean, I liked the results. Once I got it all off, my skin felt amazing. I was saying that as I was doing it. I was like, well, if this is supposed to be a bad thing, this is sure making my feet feel good and so soft and supple. But I don't want that look. So no. So I just took it off. I am soaking my feet to get this all the stuff off. I'm going to wash them really well, and then I'm going to put some moisturizer on and then let them catch some air, breathe. I took my false toenails off. So I put fake toenails on just to make my feet look good and match my hands. So I took them off and cut my toenails down. And so now I'm just soaking them in this warm water, which feels amazing. And so after that, I'm going to play with them and see if there's any skin to come off. If not, then I'm put my footies on, and then um, I might do my hands. I might not. I might let them stay on a couple of more days. But it's getting time for them to come off too. So other than that, I was going to do my toes tonight, but nah, I think I'm going to wait unless I really get bored. If I get bored and don't have nothing to do, then I will do them. Because I do have a full set over here that I could use. So, and I don't have nothing to do. So that would be good. So tonight I am on um, Facebook Live, and I'm also on YouTube screencast on my phone, and I'm also on this, which is just a regular recording on my tablet. And where am I today mentally? Mentally today, I'm okay. I'm not um depressed. Um I am uh thinking about um Corey. Um once I was thinking about him, I was thinking of a program that could be put in place so that parents could have a way to do checks on their, you know, on their family members to make sure that they're okay. Um, the law won't let me talk to him, and they won't let me talk to Nico, which is my other son. Um, they will allow me to talk to Corey on Terry's phone only, and that is because she's me. So if I were to talk to him on my phone, then it would create a conflict because then who is she? So she is pretending to be me. And so that's why she's on his visitation and I'm not. And so she's pretending to be me and moves around wherever the law tells her to go. She's been to North Carolina as me. She went to cruises as me. She has employment as me. She's worked at the school as me. She does all of these things in her person, but for the law to use and take pictures as me. Um, so she goes to the different places they tell her to go, which is why all of a sudden lately in the last year or so, she is working all these different jobs that she's never in her life worked before. This is why. So, um, um, she's into dump trucks and hauling because that's what they say I do. I have a company. The white dump truck is over on Flint River Road. They say that I work in schools so that I could have access to children or youth, young guys or young girls. Um, and they say that I, work in other different places where she has had employment in the last year. So I don't get to talk to him. I have not seen him since 2018, maybe 17, but I think it was 2018. I haven't seen him, and I seen him briefly for a moment. We went to the mall in Greenville, I think, and he was at, or did we meet him? I think we were at the mall in Greenville if they have one, or we were at the mall in Greenville because he had a pass. He was at Turning Point, which is a place for people that if you got any type of addiction or whatever, and you could go there. And so he really wasn't addicted bad to anything. Uh, he really didn't have that problem. He just went because it would provide the job, a place to stay, and he could be around people. And this is therapeutic for me to talk about because I have so many regrets with Corey. Um, I have so many regrets. Um, I try to say that I've forgiven myself, but when I talk about it and hit a soft spot, um, it hurts, and I could tell that I haven't. And I thought that when he got out of DJJ in 2015, that that was my way out and that I could heal. But everything that he did to me in 2008, when I got out, all the way up until 2015, I took all of the abuse. Anytime he would cuss me out, he would call me a bitch. He would, if he got mad, if I didn't do what he wanted, I did everything that he wanted me to do for that entire period. And I took all of his abuse because I felt responsible for him being there because of me going to prison in 2004. So when he got out in 2015, the law knew that he was getting ready to get out. And so they were obviously poisoning me back then. Because I went to the doctor, and that's when they had this fake doctor, racist, that I complained about. put me on all of this medication. And when Corey came home, when I went to court, I had the moon face, which is where you're taking the prednisone and it blows you up. I mean, one day Ketchup was at work, and I swear to God, I was so hungry for no reason. I ate 13 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, a whole loaf of bread and the Smucker's grape jelly, and I just sat there with TV and I just ate all of those sandwiches. And I was just so, I was kind of like the little fat kid on Bad Santa, except I was a little girl, where every time the little old lady would come out and she would say, "You want a sandwich?" I just kept eating those sandwiches. And my face was horrible. And I was so fat and bloated because that medicine was, I mean, it was making me eat something serious. And my lips had actually gotten small. Um, and when Corey came home, I was on that medicine, and I was so hormonal. They were giving me well more of that prednisone than what I should have been having. I was on 120 milligrams a day, and I was so hormonal. And I mean, and gosh, that poor baby. I mean, I was good, but I didn't have no patience, because when I already seen the law at work, and if they were to go back to this day and say, is it a recorded call where I called to his counselor, the counselor in the jail, and the probation officer, and said, "I'm not going to come and get him. I'm going to let him stay and do the last year. It's to his benefit and mine." And they told me, she told me I was selfish and that I was thinking about myself and I wasn't thinking about Corey. And if they were to go back, and I'm sure the feds got it on record because they were definitely around in 2015, and it's on record. And I called and said, I knew they were going to get my baby. And I said, I don't want him to come out. He needs to stay there for the year. He only has one more year. And DJJ was so, it wasn't like I was saying for him to stay in a prison. Corey was very well taken care of in DJJ in terms of, uh, being, I wasn't worried about nobody beating him up. I wasn't worried about him, whatever. It was the adult stuff that I had, him having girlfriends and being in relationships and stuff like that. I had issues like that, misconduct, but I didn't have safety issues. And so I didn't want to bring him out in Augusta, even though he wasn't going to be living in Augusta. I seen that they were already rearing him and setting him up. And sure enough, when I brought him back, when I got him, I should have never went and got him. He would not be in jail today, even though I can't really say that because the law was already out to get him. They had to get him because they were already planning to get me. So they didn't want me to have a son and a family and nobody to really see that I'm not all of these different things that they said. So that wasn't in the cards for me to have a family. So, but so if he hadn't went to jail then in 2019, they were going to put him back in at some point. And And that's sad to say, but it's the truth. It was the operation. They didn't want me to be around anybody. The only reason they let me have a husband was because it was for the finance, for the swap. That's it. Other than that, and when the swaps were over, when I changed my name to Crystal Ketchup, then the operation was over. They pulled him out. And that's exactly when it officially, they pulled him out in January of 2020 when I changed my name to Ketchup. Other than that, I had never used the name Ketchup on anything. I told him that I was going to wait because I was just seeing too much. And I said, this is very unstable. And I'm not about to change all of my documents. And I don't play around with the name game. I don't did that before. And, that's too much like my past. And so that was one of the reasons. Then I did it in my first marriage too. I told him, I'm not using your name until we've been together 5 solid years and we got something going for ourselves and I can see my future. Other than that, I'm not doing it. I don't have to. And so I changed my name and they was like, all right, good. We got her. Close it. Pull them out. And so they tore my marriage up after that. So back to Corey. I hate to say it, but that was going to be the deal anyway because they didn't want him to be around me and to see me. And they knew that Corey was like a mama's boy and really liked me more than Nico. Nico is a loner, loves me, but can do without me. Corey can't. He's a mama's boy and always would want to talk to me, and they didn't want that. So and he knew about the operation, but he was too soft for the operation. He knew about it because Gwanda had told him. And Gwanda, which is why they all have to be under her because she's the one that gives the orders so that the law you don't ever have to say that a person of this magnitude told me. They tell Gwanda and Gwanda puts the family in the direction of what they're supposed to be doing. So, he knew, and when they seen that he was trying to give hints, and that they saw, because they can see, they can project, where they got a weakling, and Corey was a weak link, and they knew that if this ever came out and he got questioned, that Corey wasn't gonna be the one that could keep up the lie. That Nico can lie to the no end. He's CIA lies. Nico can lie to the president. Gwanda can take it. Corey, no. Mm-mm. After a while, even if he's telling the lie, you're going to be able to see that it's a lie. He's not going to be able to hold the composure, all of that. Nico can take it like a champ. They trained him well. But Corey, no. So they saw that and they thought that that was the best place for Corey to go. And I think that sometimes I wondered if I even thought that he was there. That if jail was just a front and that he's really not there because this is a operation. So maybe he's not even there. And they're just using that to keep him away from me. But then if he is there, then is he being abused? Because if he didn't follow the plan, then is he being abused? So, but Gwanda, he got out, and I saw that they were going to get him, that they were going to railroad him, and they did from the first day that he got out. And I went to see him the last time I saw him in 2018. He said the very same things that the law is doing to me now. He said at that time. They're playing real bad on the TV, Mom. And I knew exactly what he meant because I had already started seeing it in 2018 at the house, my TV. And so I had already started to see it, that my channel, my lineups would change. And, Why is my cable TV, set TV, why is that Florida? Why am I getting a Florida lineup? And then who's Florida? The man living right down the street with the right there that comes and put the car in the yard every day. That act like he lived there. The one that I have to tell every day, move your goddamn car. You don't live here. And you just go out there and sit because he was hopping on. Now I know exactly what he was doing. He was hopping on my Wi-Fi and my network making calls. And I thought when I first seen him, he's cheating on his wife and he's just wanting to make the calls to his girlfriend before he go home. No, he was pulling up and hopping on. And then wait and they take pictures of him out there so it look like it's yours. That's why they gave me a BMW, and that's why Easter had it. It was the same BMW that was driven by the man that had the big house near Quiet Grove Drive that used to sit out there, and he was Mexican. And he couldn't stand me. Every time I would say something to him, he would get pissed. I don't care. You're in my yard. And you need to move it, buddy. And he was the only Latino over there. So it was like weird because it's none of those in Lexington. So I was like, where did you even come from? So, but he was over there, and this was after the federal complaint. The federal complaint got made in June. He came out, the FBI came out that same day. I made the report. We are already here. I was like, oh, how y'all got here so fast? They was already there all along. So I love to talk about South Carolina because I could see so much. It's just a miracle to me that I was always telling and didn't know what I was saying. It was like I feel now that I think about this, I was like a little girl when they put those little children in the room and they give them a doll and they say, okay, show me what the person was doing to you. Show me the game that they played. And the little kid is just telling so much and have no idea. They're just innocent saying stuff. And that is how I was, just talking all the time and had no idea that I was telling major stuff that I was telling. And that's probably why they had started really threatening me, but I didn't know what I was saying at the time. I was just saying, Ketchup, I just don't want, I literally said it, Ketchup, I don't want to deal with that man named, I'm not going to call his name, I'm going to be good tonight. Okay, I don't want to deal with him, Ketchup, because that man is not who he says he is. And that Ketchup would be like, because he knew. And so he would be like, God, how does she know that? God was telling me. And so when Corey got out, he told me the very same things that I say now. And they had put him around all Mexicans. He wasn't around anyone. This is how they alienate you. So you only can get jobs that are outside of your race. So they keep you in a swoosh. So you don't have anyone to talk to, no one to see, no one to witness, and you can't make any friends. They isolate you. So they had started that isolation process with him. And he told me. And when I went to see him, they were working on us. I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you. They did a bang up job. Too bad it all done came out. But I guess that's why I get the death threats. But too bad it done all came out. But they did a bang up job putting this together because they was working on everybody at the same time. Because Corey was separated, they had done caused division with him and Nico, or that was the way that they wanted it to look to me. And because Corey and Nico was still talking sometimes that I didn't know that they were, and that's because that's the way the law that had played it. When everybody come around me, everybody have to argue, but really everybody is together. Like how they act in Augusta, like Wanda act like she can't stand Easter. They probably go to lunch every day, trade cards. Act like Sharon and Easter don't talk, probably living there. You just think they not talking. That's to keep you isolated from everybody. But really, everybody in Augusta is still talking and celebrating and riding new cars and living in their houses and spending that they bonus checks that they got for setting you up with their phones and their cards that they got. So Corey was got out. I told that lady, I don't want my son out. I want him to stay. And that goes to show that God was using me then. I called her the night before from 121 Woodsboro Road and said, I don't want to go pick him up. And the night that he got out, Ketchup, they made me sick. Ketchup, so that Ketchup and him would go out by themselves. They went to the movies. That's when they gave me whatever they was poisoning me with back then, was made me hurt real bad. And I had to lay down and Ketchup. They were still giving me all that prednisone to blow me up and to make me eat. And I laid down and Corey and Nico went to the movies. I think at first Cindy Stone came up there at some point around that time or before then. And Corey and Ketchup went to the movies. And I think that they went to the movies so that Ketchup could go ahead and tell him what to do and how it was going to play out and what the move was and what he had to do and could not do, and to give him the rules and to talk to him by himself and to let him know what was going on. And that's why Corey didn't like him. And so, and Ketchup don't, they say Ketchup don't play. So, because them Florida boys have a mean streak. And so they say them Florida guys don't play. But he didn't play that side with me because he had to play the submissive husband that get ran over all the time. He had to play that role so that when they flip the script and come out of hiding, then it would look like, oh, she just ran over that poor man. Oh, they did very good with that. I can tell you every point they're gonna use, they was making it. So that's why every time he went around everybody, I would hate it because everybody wherever we went, Ketchup would play that role, and I would say,